All right, let's get right in to a meditation. Can you keep it brief? Sitting or laying down, your spine upright, erect, sitting not on your tailbone. You don't want to pinch your tailbone. So, sitting with your back, trying to sit with your back as far back as possible, but also on the edge of your chair, if that makes sense. Trying to really sit on your hamstrings. Closing your eyes, releasing all the oxygen out of your nose and in through your nose. Out through your nose and in through your nose. Out through your nose and in through your nose. Out through your nose and in through your nose. Out through your nose and breathing through your mouth as if through a straw. And out through your mouth as if through a straw. In through your nose, out through your nose. In through your nose and out through your nose. In through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose, holding at the top of the breath, and out through your mouth, holding at the bottom of the breath. In through your nose and out through your nose. In through your nose and take a small breath in and hold. And out through your nose. Again, in through your nose and at the apex of the breath, taking a small breath in and holding. And out through your mouth. In through your nose. And out through your nose. In through your nose. And out through your mouth. Holding at the bottom of the breath. Full inhale through your nose. Full exhale through your nose. Releasing all of your oxygen. 3 exhales at the bottom of the breath. Breathing in through your nose. And out through your nose. And returning to your natural state of breathing. Allowing your body to adjust any matter it feels like. Doing any stretches that feel good. Maybe self-massage. Or just staying still. Allowing your body mind to rest. Allowing your eyes to stay closed. Or gently blink them open whenever you feel ready. Taking note of the environment you're in. Objects that share space with you. And your thoughts and feelings about your environment. And let's get right into it. So really, since the beginning of this podcast, I've been talking about mental health and physical health topics, things that I have direct experience with, things that I've done the research on. And today is going to be more of the same. Going to talk more in depth about the statistics behind the things I was talking about. There's a reason that all those things are in my so-called electric plan. It's because the research is out there. The research, if you just look it up, if you just put a little time and effort into finding the answers, you will find them. But I'm here to find those answers for you so that way you don't have to. So, just in case you may have thought I've been just talking out of my ass, we'll start going into some of these topics. And I'll just hit on a couple of them. Really, it's just stuff that we've already talked about without maybe giving the exact data behind it. I see so many things. I don't always have the exact data behind it at the forefront of my mind. And I think we shall start with the most difficult thing for me because something I don't have direct experience with. I haven't talked about anything I don't have direct experience with. So we will talk about sugar consumption and menopause upon request. So very briefly, I will just stick to the facts. I will not give my opinion whatsoever. I don't have an opinion on this topic because I don't and will never have direct experience with it. So, high sugar consumption, which is something we've been talking about, in this specific instance, can exacerbate hormonal imbalances in menopausal women. Excessive sugar intake may contribute to weight gain. Now, again, we talked about excessive. Excessive would be considered anything over 16 to 25 grams per day. Anything you eat that may be sugary, you will know has way more than 16 to 25 grams, or maybe you won't know because a lot of these things aren't labeled. So again, anything over 16 to 25 grams would be labeled as excessive. As of 2021, the average American was having 68 grams of sugar. Now, there's so much contradictory research out there that the other day I said it was between 100 and 150 grams of sugar. per day. And that's as of 2023. However, I have heard that the sugar consumption has gone down. So I don't really know what to believe. I know Americans are having way too much sugar. That's obvious. So anyway, excessive sugar intake may contribute to weight gain, insulin resistance, and an increased risk of type 2 diabetes during menopause. Women experiencing menopause should pay attention to their sugar intake as part of managing their overall health. So those are just the notes on how sugar consumption directly affects menopause. So we'll go back up to the top, talk about nutrition and diet, which sugar is a huge part of, especially for Americans. And we talked about seed oils. We talked about how seed oils mainly are accessing the body through fast food, right? So again, it's mainly fast food because most people don't eat at home. And people do use these things at home, canola oil, grapeseed oil for sure. But as you can see right here, most people are not eating at home. Approximately 73% of adults in the US consume fast food regularly. Okay, right here, we can go to healthy cooking. Only about 13% of Americans cook at home. Cooking at home isn't even necessarily about what you are making. Pretty much across the board, if you are making food at home, it's better than if you were eating out. So again, weight loss strategies. Around 40% of adults worldwide are obese. Okay. In the US, it's over 70%. Goal setting. Talked about the importance of that. People who set specific goals are more likely to succeed, with 10% of those setting clear goals achieving them. Okay, again, less than 5% of adults participate in 30 minutes of physical activity each day. Now, if you add all this alone together, it's not looking good. It's really, really not looking good. And this is the World Health Organization. Less than 5% of adults participate in 30 minutes of physical activity. That includes walking. That includes walking to the bus, to the train, to your car, to work. It's not happening. People aren't even getting 30 minutes of movement per day. So that's the world. When we talk about the US, the US is definitely balancing that out in the negative for sure, because the US, right now you talk about health and wellness is at an all-time high of being talked about. And yet, I guess it's just being talked about because we're talking about a very small percentage of people who actually do anything to contribute to their health and wellness. And we're talking about a very large percentage of people right here, no pun intended, once again, who are eating fast food, are not cooking at home, are not working out for 30 minutes a day, which includes walking. And this is a recipe for disaster. All of that equals this right here. Your physical body and your mental are directly linked. They go absolutely hand in hand. And here is probably anytime you see any of these diseases or really anything that's reported, it's going to be grossly understated. Now, there's still a stigma around mental health. It's less than ever, but it's still there. So not everyone is going to come out and tell you their problems and their mental health issues. So we have right here, as of 2021, 1 in 5 adults in the US experience a mental health illness in any given year. Now, those numbers are up. And a big reason why those numbers are up is because more people are self-reporting than ever.
more people are getting checked out, going to doctors than ever, going to psychologists, therapists more than ever, right? So I really do think that even though all of these things may be true, and they certainly are, and they're certainly having a huge impact on our mental health and wellness. And people will say anxiety and depression is at an all-time high, and diseases are at an all-time high. I would actually argue that they are at an all-time low because, well, they're at an all-time high because there's the most amount of people on the planet. So let's just say percentage-wise, they're at an all-time low. And that's important because that percentage directly applies to you. So I would say it's at an all-time low in terms of severity because there's less wars on the planet than ever. So we're talking about consciousness, right? There's less wars on the planet than ever. There's less murders on the planet than ever. There's less violent crimes on the planet than ever. This is the most prosperous and abundant time in human history thus far. So, and it looks like things are only going to get better and better and better. But we are living in our own, we're all living on the planet, right? The planet, the earth, covered three-fourths water, has beautiful rainforests, sun, oxygen. We're all living on that planet, but we're all living in different worlds. There are plenty of people living in the world of peace, tranquility, serenity. They know that this is the most prosperous and abundant time in human history. And those people aren't going to be showing up on the news. They're not going to be showing up anywhere. The person doing the right thing, the person who's mentally well put together, physically well put together, there's nothing to talk about there, really. Or in terms of the media cycle, because the media cycle is all about negativity. Negativity sells. They're preying on the negativity. So anytime someone does something terrible, everyone can see it because now we are on a news cycle that is instantaneous. Everyone's a reporter because everyone has a phone in their pocket. So it's things that, huge events used to take days to get across the world in the news cycle. Now something happens on the other side of the world and it's, or excuse me, on the other side of the earth, and it is instantaneously transmitted to the masses. So again, mental health, right? Who's less mentally healthy than someone who's murdering somebody else, right? And murders are at an all-time low. So I'm not trying to downplay the severity of depression, anxiety. In fact, I'm trying to create something, or I have created something for people to address it, right? I've addressed it in my own life, and I really try and stress the importance of addressing it to everyone that I care about. And so I'm not downplaying it at all. I understand the the suffering that people are going through. All I'm saying is that it's a suffering that we're going through more suffering for less than ever. We actually have the easiest lives in the history of humanity. And we seem to be, or we think we're suffering more than ever. Anyway, regular mindfulness practices such as meditation and yoga have been shown to reduce stress and improve well-being. Healthy habits such as adequate sleep is crucial for overall health. Yet around 35% of adults in the US report not getting enough sleep. And that number is definitely higher than that. I mean, anytime you see a number like that, you could pretty much double it, if not triple it. Whenever you see any diseases, things like anxiety, depression being reported. Right here, adequate sleep. I mean, if you talk to people, they're not sleeping. I mean, it's crazy, and it's literally crazy because crazy is just a word we use for people who have a psychological disturbance. And someone who just goes 48 hours without sleep, or even 48 hours without proper sleep, shows signs of psychopathy. So they're they're showing just 48 hours is all it takes for you to have your priorities completely blown up by the just that different mentality you have when you are on lack of sleep. And many people have felt that, even if they just had a bad night's sleep or a bad couple nights sleep, a bad week's sleep, it changes everything, and it makes you far less likely to exercise. It makes you far less likely to do anything beneficial for your health. And lack of sleep increases ghrelin, which we know as the hunger hormone, and so it makes you hungrier throughout the day. And it often makes you hungry for the things that we have evolved to think of as scarce, such as sugar and salt. And those things are not scarce in our society anymore. So you can find them anywhere, and you will often eat more and eat more unhealthy things when your sleep is disturbed. So you got bad sleep, you got bad nutrition, put those things together, you're going to have bad mental health and wellness. So moving along, doing some research on glucose. Um, I'll have more about that soon. And I'll get into the things that are working for me currently. Now, there's a lot of things that I could talk about, but I really would narrow what's working for me down into these couple of things, right? So I have an objective. I haven't always had that. And recently, I've really put an importance on what am I really aiming for right now, right? I was too general. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to be, as fit as possible. Um, and the daily maintenance of that is what I was focused on. But I wasn't necessarily, or I didn't put down on paper exactly what I'm trying to do, and really orient my life around what exactly I am trying to do. So right now, I am trying to gain muscle mass and burn fat. So with that, there are certain non-negotiables that I have. Every morning, this has been something that I've been doing for a pretty long time, but um, something that I would say directly is beneficial to gaining muscle and burning fat because of its anti-inflammation properties is every morning I drink turmeric, cinnamon, and black pepper tea. I also take cold showers and do cold plunges in the ocean every day. Now, I'm in California. The water's not that cold. The shower's not that cold, but I can only do what I can do. Those two things, those that cold exposure really really cuts body fat as much as if not more than high intensity interval workouts, which high intensity interval workouts are really the best workouts for burning fat. So I do those things every single day, have done for a long time, but specifically, I'm going to continue doing them because of my objective. So I've also gone to eating one meal a day. This is something I've kind of been on and off about for many years, but I'm not hungry in the mornings ever. So, and that's something I've really trained myself is to not be hungry in the morning. Now, once in a while, will I feel that feeling that people associate with hunger? Absolutely. But I know that it's just my, I ate late sometimes. Sometimes I ate a big meal late and my body's still burning it in the morning. So there's that burn in the morning. And when people feel that burn or people are afraid of that burn, they automatically go and eat something. And I know that's not what my body is telling me. It's just, it's still working. And if I were to go grab something and eat it at that time, it really would be doing my body a disservice. I also exercise the best without having new food in my stomach. So again, eating one meal a day, and I've changed to eating as early as possible, around 5:30 to 6 p.m. and a eating a healthy, well balanced meal with protein and going to bed as early as I can get myself to, which is really like an 8 p.m. alarm to change what I'm doing. Um, meditate, read, or journal. Those are really my options at that time, and to be in bed and hopefully asleep before 9 o'clock. This is a huge change for me because if you just go back about 2 years, my regular bedtime was 3 o'clock. And if you just go back 6 months, I was going to bed at 12 or 1 o'clock. And if you just go back 2 weeks, I was going to bed at 10:30, 11, if not later. So I'm really putting emphasis on this because I'm trying to get up as early as possible so that way I can get out and get my workout in first thing in the morning. Again, another non-negotiable is something we've talked about, which is walking post meal. I don't know how I forgot that, but that is something that is of the utmost importance in terms of synthesizing the meal you just ate and aiding in digestion for aiding in digestion before you go to bed. So these things, right? Eating early, going to bed early, walking post meal really help me out with this thing, working out first thing in the morning. I get up as early as possible and I get outside as early as possible. Morning sunlight is huge. I get morning sunlight, pretty much as soon as I wake up. I drink my tea outside and then I come back in and get ready to go. And my objective first thing in the morning is just break a sweat. And that's not easy for me to do. So I got to really focus and really get into it. So when you work out first thing in the morning, and again, this is also a drastic change for me because I used to be an evening workout person and now I'm a morning workout person. So it's really a big difference and I've really had to do a lot of tinkering and changes in order to be able to perform at that time. So one of the reasons it's great to work out first thing in the morning is because you get into that brown fat reserve. And it's really the only time that you can get into that brown fat reserve. It's the layer of fat below the fat that is visible to you. And it's important to burn that because it'll keep regenerating and you want that. You want to burn it and have it regenerate. You don't want it to build up. So right away, I used to walk first thing in the morning. So now I am still walking to the pull-up bar. So I go right to the pull-up bar. I hang a couple times, just dead hang, just to get loose a little bit at least. Let my shoulders create some space in my shoulders. Um, let my spine elongate. And then I get some pull-ups in, I get some chin-ups in, I do some knee raises, and I just started ankle to bar. And then depending on the day, I will do push-ups, an extensive ab routine, yogic squats, calf raises, astergrass squats, knees over toes, split squat, and regular split squat, and knee raise to glute extension, and jog, sprint, run, swim, whatever. And all of this normally takes about an hour and a half. So once I'm done with all that, I'm really ready for the day. And what I do is sit myself down. And really the best way to meditate is to move first, right? Your body, the way that we're on like 90-minute cycles. So you want to rest and you want to do something active and then you want to rest, right? You want to do like 90 minutes of something active, whatever that may be. If it's just mentally active where you're doing focused work, right? Most people can't do focused work for more than 90 minutes and certainly not more than 2 hours. So you want to do focused work for about 90 minutes and then give yourself a 20-minute break if you can. And that 20-minute break, right? Let's say you just did a 90-minute workout or whatever it is. You did a 20-minute workout, 10-minute workout, even if you just went for a walk, it's then best to then meditate rather than going from doing nothing, trying to get yourself to meditate because your body is going to naturally want to get up and move and use the energy that it has stored. So you use that energy and then you rest into your meditation. It allows you to really be calmer and get into there's an infinite depth that you can get into in meditation. So it allows you to get deeper and deeper into that meditation without having to sit and focus for a longer period of time. And then I do some reading, even if it's just a couple pages, and some journaling. And I know I'm on the right path. I feel great. And I have definitely burned 1 to 2% body fat in probably last week. And I know that because I used to get tested for my body fat percentage every week for football. So I have a pretty good idea. But also, I've done the most simple thing is the only place that I really store body fat is my lower abdomen, which most people have that same exact issue. And so I've just been grabbing it every day in the mirror to measure how much is there. And each day has been a little tiny bit less. So over a week, you can see there's been a change. And I've also gained some muscle, strength, and endurance. So I'm on the right path. It's working. And I share that with you because morning routine. A consistent morning routine can reduce stress levels and increase productivity. According to research, morning exercise can boost mood and enhance mental well-being throughout the day. Some things that we just talked about yesterday. Nutrition, replacing honey into your diets, replacing sugar, walking, eye movement. All right. A lot of you probably thought that one was crazy, but eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing are effective in PTSD and REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, is extremely imperative to your psyche, and basically you're getting a little bit of the benefit of REM sleep by just moving your eyes back and forth in your waking state. We talked about consistent sleep schedule. We talked about caffeine in sleep. 85% of Americans consume caffeinated beverages regularly. Consuming caffeine within 6 hours of bedtime can disrupt sleep patterns. Spending time outdoors, overcoming sugar addiction, and that's it for today. That's plenty. Again, lots of real hard data here, some of my own personal experience, and I really hope that that can help you. I know that it can if you hold yourself accountable and you create a plan, you don't get discouraged, right? Even if a relapse is a part of recovery, even if you fall off, get back to your plan as quickly as possible. Don't be too hard on yourself and gain that much needed discipline over time. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please comment and let me know what else you would like for me to talk about, because that would be really helpful and it would be really awesome to engage more. So have a great day. Peace, y'all. Be healthy.